Let's wrap up 2024 Volkswagen Polo Vivo 1.4 Trendline. Welcome to another video. We are specifically looking at driving experience, practicality, and fuel consumption of this small entry-level hatchback. A quick review. This comes with halogen headlights and without fog lamps on the front end, with 14-inch steel wheels that comes with 143mm ground clearance. Inside the cabin, this comes clean with no multifunction steering wheel. As this is a basic or entry level, expect entry-level feel inside the cabin. This comes without multifunction steering wheel and small radio with 4 speakers. At least there is Bluetooth connectivity and aux input and USB port. And lastly, you get air conditioning. This can be occupied by maximum of 5 people with a load volume capacity of 280 liters. Boot space, 1.4 liter inline 4-cylinder naturally aspirated petrol engine that produces 55 kilowatts and 130 newtons meter of torque, mated to 5-speed manual transmission with a top speed of 171 kilometer per hour and average fuel consumption of 5.7 liter per 100 kilometer, with fuel range of 790 kilometers and fuel tank of 45 liters. It comes with safety pack features standard like ABS, EBD, option of electronic stability control, and 2 airbags. Now let's get straight to the chase with driving experience. Here we are looking at driving experience of a city drive and of a national road or highway drive. This car drives so well on the city drive as this is 1.4 liter naturally aspirated engine. It's drive quiet and the linkage between the transmission and the engine, it's so well to a point where this doesn't make noise. This car doesn't really suffocate. It's drive well inside the city with gear number 1 and number 2, and it's also drive well and quiet inside the cabin. Even the changing gear RPM, you can push it to 2500 and 2000 RPM. Both they are really good. You won't even feel a small noise from the transmission or from the engine. When it comes to highway driving experience, this drives so quiet. When they say 71 kilometer per hour, they mean business from Volkswagen. This drive well from 0 to 100 kilometer and 120 kilometer. It's really quiet. I think what makes this car to be greater than most of the small hatchback competitor, it's because Polo has been produced or being in the market for quite some time. They have really searched their mistakes and rectified them to this point. This is the best driving experience we expect from this small hatchback entry level. One of the things that makes this car to drive 120 kilometer quiet and driving around the corner, handling those corners right in the point or in a safest way, it's because of their suspension and their tire inch. These two combination makes a car to drive well and to drive safe on both city drive and national road or a highway drive. I pushed this car to 120 km per hour and 150 to 160, pushing this car over 160. But when you push straight over 120, you won't even feel that you are driving that fast. With 120 and 140 slot, they drive well, and if you are a person who really drive with a speed, you won't even feel that now you are at 140 km per hour. This is how they make this combination of tire inch and suspension to drive better. 55 kilowatts is too small to a point where when you shift so fast and so quickly. But with 130 newtons meter of torque, it really makes this car to perform very well. 55 kilowatts is too small, but it's been backed up by 130 newtons meter of torque. This makes this hatchback to be reliable and to be one of the most cheapest entry level in its segment. With fuel consumption, this is the car that you can really drive under 5.7 liter per 100 kilometer if you really drive under speed limit, and if you change on 2000 rpm and 2.5 rpm. That's how great the 55 kilowatts makes sense when it comes to fuel consumption. Driving experience at night, this car drives very well. And another thing that I have been encounter driving this car, those halogen headlights, they make a great job. Don't really undermine those halogen headlights. Last thing to look at is the transmission clutch. This Polo Vivo is not really for an entry level or first time buyer and first time driver, because the clutch balancing, it will give you 1 to 2 seconds clearance to put your foot on the gas, unlike some of the competitors, as they give you 5 seconds clearance time to put your foot on the gas. A first time buyer from Volkswagen and the first time driver, it will be a challenge to drive this Polo, as most of the time it will roll. With Volkswagen, we want them to give us a really 5 seconds time clearance to put our foot on the gas. For the sake of this is an entry level. Remember, most of the people who are entering first time buyer, they look for Polo Vivo. With that being said, we completed our trip from West Richard to Thohoyandou with no time, but it gives a night driving experience. If you really enjoyed our content, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and comment. Support local YouTube. Take care until the next one.